Salty thoughts of Mike Steph, this marks a new beginning. Thanks for supporting a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hide the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music mixed for living. Rep New York City, but ain't the politician. Always bring the heat, Steph bacon in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best. In the word of what I do, all y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission. The Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, the best in the world of what he does. Tap in. What up, people? Welcome to a very, very honoring, a very, very irritated, a very, very angry Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, featuring a very, very peed off Mike Steph. That's the water what he does. I know y'all probably was trying to figure out. Well, longtime listeners of the Salty Thoughts podcast, under whatever name I decided to make it, we're probably trying to figure out how long it was going to be, how many episodes it was going to be until the host is not in a jovial mood. It's not in a very happy-go-lucky mood. It's not in a very How long is it going to take for Mike Steph to go off? As you can see on his face, I am not a very, very happy man at this point in time. And the funny thing is, it has nothing to do sports related. Nothing at all. But that's what I am going to actually talk about this episode, this week, this edition. I'm going to talk about sports. I'm off my wrestling kick. And I'm going to do me. Before I get into the actual rundown of this episode, because you know, it wouldn't be an edition, well, an edition of the revamped, the new beginning of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, if I didn't forget to put this intro. Yeah, this is the intro. You know what else? Do you know what else I forgot to put in? I can tell you right now. Of course, he doesn't want to show right now, right? Of course, he doesn't want to show right now, right? I swear. Extreme, y'all want to know why I give them so many effing slander. So much effing slander, week after week after week after week. Because, I don't know, it's on their end. It's not on my end. It's on their end. You know how many times I've attempted to record this episode? 3 times. 3 times. I'm so riled up right now that I forgot when I actually put a banner, a subject title, it takes my name off the screen. But still, they are going to get the blame just the same. StreamYard. Not only is StreamYard the reason why I'm very pissed off right now. Yeah, 4 minutes and 38 seconds before I asked, and I still haven't cursed yet. Go me. Intro. It actually started before I even set everything up. If you can't tell, you're getting this on a Monday, probably Monday evening / early Tuesday morning. Once again, one day late. But this reason But this week is for a very good reason. It's actually twofold that I'll get into after I get my issue off. Today, I'm like, you know what? I didn't do it last night because of various reasons that I'll get into. Like, you know what? Monday afternoon, I'm gonna get up, gonna get everything straight, and then I'm gonna record this episode for the masses to have it in by the end of Monday. So I get up, get myself together. The missus, the sponsor, my wife had some errands to run. So I was like, you know what? This would be the perfect time because we have an outing to go to pretty much probably after I record this podcast. And they'll probably be coming in while I'm doing this podcast. So whatever. But we got things we got to do today, right? So I figured, okay, while they're out doing errands, being the fact that this, I got a couple subjects I want to get into, but it's not going to be a 2-hour extravaganza as last week was. I'll be able to get in and get out probably within an hour, right? And then I could go about my merry way. But I looked at myself last week when I was looking at this gorgeous mug on this screen. And I was like, wow. Your boy needs a shave. Your boy needs a haircut. Your boy looking kind of rough on these YouTube streets. So I was like, you know what? Let me handle my business. And matter of fact, let me get myself 85% ready. So by the time I finish recording this, me and the missus could go handle our business. So I go in the bathroom, get the clippers out, get the trimmers out. Because I was actually going to go to the barbershop. Procrastinated too long. And I'm like, F it. I'm going to barbershop. I don't got no hairline. Just put it on 0 or what, a quarter. Shape up the, trim down the beard. Go about my business. Later on this week, if I don't like the job I did, then I go to the barbershop. Yo, line me up. I'll be good. Really don't care. Right? That's what I planned on doing. So I go in, start doing my shaving, shape my hair. So we're just going to trim it down. Then I'm going to, all right, try to attempt to line myself up, right? But while I was actually cutting hair, actually giving myself a shave from my head, my trimmers actually fell. Didn't think nothing of it until I started trying to attempt to line myself up. And I'm like, ow, that hurt. Oh, that hurt. Oh, why does it feel like I'm shocking myself? So upon further investigation, I'll look. The worst thing that could happen to your trimmers. Not even the worst. Matter of fact, it's not even something. Well, I guess it is something I could replace, but at this point in time, shit's a trash. Throw them in the garbage or whatever. I chipped the side of my trimmer, so it was almost like I was zeking myself every time I'm trying to line myself up. Piss me off. So I was able to do whatever I could do. So now it looks like I really am going to have to go to the barbershop and pay like $30 for them to line me up. So that was incident number one. So after I finish that, get myself together, get dressed, smell goods on or whatever, even though they probably wear off by the time I get out, whatever. Let me set up and get my setup right. Set my laptop up, get my trusty Yeti, get my nice camera set up, and turn the laptop on. Guess what's missing? Listen, I have an old laptop, but it's mine. I love it. I've had this laptop for 12 years. It updates. So, multiple times it updates to the point that I can't even use it until it updates. So it's still working. And I got the majority of my personal stuff on this laptop, like songs, pictures, so forth. So I'm not really giving up this laptop. Yeah, I put it on an internal hard drive, but that's too inside baseball right now, right? So, plus, to be blunt, I bought my wife a laptop. You know, one of those good top of the line laptops. And not to lie, I kind of got tired of my wife telling me, yo, don't you got a laptop? Why do you got to use mine? So I was like, you know, don't worry about me using your laptop. Got my own shit. So I've been really making a point to keep my laptop up to par before I have to end up buying another one. So I turn it on, it's booting up. Gets on the screen. I'm like, all right, let me set it. Mouse isn't working. Okay, no problem. Reboot it. Figure, you know, sometimes disappears. You can't find it. Reboot it again. Mouse is nowhere to be found. It's not even like it's frozen, just nowhere to be found. Third time was a charm, got on. That process itself, because my laptop is an old laptop, it takes about 5 minutes to reboot it each time. That's 15 minutes right now. Down the drain. So finally, set everything up. Make sure everything is in the clear. Then all of a sudden, StreamYard wants to be starting their bullshit. So I'm typing in all my titles, you know, intro, Mike Steph, intro, Mike Steph, intro. You see how it's slowing down already? That wasn't me just doing slow motion. Fucking StreamYard. I'm laughing, but this isn't a laugh of joy. This is a laugh of when, you know, when somebody's really pissed off and they give that little giggle like, that's that. So like I said, they're the ones who started this little bullshit about, yeah, you can have a little headline, right? They're the ones who started that, right? I didn't really give a F about it. They're the ones who started it. Yes, you know what it says? Mike Steph, the spousal chief. But guess what? This ain't a wrestling episode. I was gonna put something basketball related. It tells you, oh, you can adjust your headline just prior into getting into the StreamYard studio. Guess what? I tried it 4 times. No option. That's instance number 3. That's pissed me off. And like I've said in the past, StreamYard has no pause button. StreamYard has no, okay, you know what? We could just start from this point and continue. No. One take mic, even though this is not one take mic, because it's like 4 or 5 take mic. StreamYard doesn't do that. So when I'm starting up, because I was like, yo, got a lot of compliments. I hooked it up last week. Yeah, let me keep it going. Give y'all my little intro, my little ditty. It's the salty thoughts of Mike Steph. Here starts a new beginning. You know, that shit. Tried it like that. And it pretty much started recording on the 3rd ball. Can't have that happen. So I had to just toss that recording away. Because you don't have a redo button, do you? StreamYard. No, you don't. So here we are. 15 minutes in, and your boy is already on one. So to get this on the road, matter of fact, one last thing. And this actually hopefully will get me in a better mood. Yesterday was Easter Sunday. Holy Week. Resurrection of Christ, the whole nine. Passover, the whole nine. Good Friday, Holy Thursday, the whole nine. Right? So, I have family that's up in New York for the extended weekend. Have my cousin. Have my extended cousin. My cousin do marriage, but regardless, I don't look. I've been in my wife's family for going on 30 years. So it's no longer extended family, no in-laws. Yo, her family, my family, cousin. So had my cousin come up, cousin Chrissy, comes up with her husband, comes up with her two beautiful children, who happen to double as not only my little cousins, but my godchildren. And my goddaughter's that's the first time I've seen her in what? Yes, since she's been on Earth. She's not quite one yet. So I'm like, look, I'm off Sunday. Yeah. Could I postpone the podcast so I can actually see my family, my children, who don't live in New York. So when I have a chance, and a lot of times, just the way my schedule is, a lot of times people come and go, and I'm at work and I can't make it. And should I just say, you know what? I'll see them later. Let me do my podcast. I'm sorry. I love y'all, but yeah, family first. Plus, being the fact I was going to be NBA centric this week, I really couldn't do anything until everything was set in stone with the play-in tournament and the playoffs. So it's kind of a win-win, right? And that's kind of the reason why today I'm getting myself together, because later on this evening, we're going to have an extended dinner out, because I think they're leaving tomorrow. So, that's why I said I'm trying to squeeze this in. But yeah, that's the reason why I didn't record yesterday for today. I wish I was proactive as my brothers from Gimmick Infringement, because they was like, look, we're not recording on Easter. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to record on Saturday. Y'all going to get this mug on Monday, and y'all ain't going to know the difference until we say so. And luckily they said so, because that's how I know. So yeah. So what's on deck this week? Like I said, I'm going to give my 2 cents on certain things concerning the NBA playoffs, the upcoming NBA playoffs, and the play-in tournament that starts tomorrow. But I am going to the main event, and would be the first topic of the up to deck. I'm going to be on my Brock Lesnar-ish. And if I can't be last, I got to be first. If I can't main event, I got to be first. And sometimes the first match is the main event. So the main event actually of this episode will be a team that's not in the playoffs. A team that's actually garnered a lot of my venom off air in the last 2-3 weeks due to the actions of their owner. It's a Cuban. If you're not familiar with who I'm referring to Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He pissed me off when he was whining and complaining over the Warriors game a couple weeks ago. And he has pissed me off with comments that he had last week concerning my New York Knickerbockers. And there he should be, tell you the truth, Jalen Brunson should have been in the MVP running. But I'll get to that soon. Because comments concerning why they were not able to retain Jalen Brunson this past offseason. I'll be talking about them first and foremost. And then I'll be talking about my New York Knickerbockers in their upcoming series against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'll give a little bit of thoughts on the upcoming series of my Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings making their first playoff appearance in damn near 2 decades. Yeah, if you want to know what this is iced coffee. But not only is this iced coffee, no. This is iced coffee with oat milk. Not goat milk, not Cambodian goat milk, oat milk. I never thought I'd be an oat milk enthusiast, but when I say it makes iced coffee that much better, it's actually creamier than cream itself, and it's healthier for my tum-tum. And of course, you know, what podcast, what YouTube show, and I'm drinking something would it be if it was not sponsored by More Bottles on YouTube? Like and subscribe. What the fuck? Now I gotta rep my man every time I get on screen. So salute. Excuse me, cause that kind of sounded kind of nasty with the for all my audio listeners out there. I know they just anyway. So yeah, I got to talk about my Golden State Warriors in their matchup with the Sacramento Kings, and I have a real good question on the Phoenix Suns. You know, those Phoenix acquired Kevin Durant at the trade deadline. Those Phoenix Suns that conveniently, the Phoenix Suns that are matched up with the Los Angeles Clippers with a 4-5 matchup. Yeah, I'll talk about them. And last but definitely not least, and this will be good. This will make somebody out in Bergen Beach in the group home. Who could that be? I think Smitty from the group home in Bergen Beach. He'll be enthusiastic because I will actually be talking about my Amazins just for a little bit. Probably not that positive or positively, but I will be talking about my Amazins, my New York Mets this episode. So all that is on deck for this edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. You know what's missing? And I didn't even realize it until just now, because there was a certain way I used to do this on the audio version and like to separate the intro from the rest of the show that I haven't been able to do now. With all that said and done, let's get this episode on the way, huh? Without further ado, good night and goodbye. Bang! See, it doesn't work the same. You know, because usually it should be like a little break. Or, matter of fact, maybe I should have just took the camera out, or just like this. Bang! There. Bang! Bang, 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 bang. Trust me, by next week, I'm gonna figure this shit out. I told y'all it's a work in progress. Every week it's gonna be something just new and something zany and something just that was like, okay, I know there's a better way to do it, and then the next week it'll get better, hopefully. But anyway, topic number 1: the Mavs tanking and whining. The Dallas Mavericks, that is. It's so irritating that, know what's back? My trusty ass notes. The Dallas Mavs deliberately, and I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. I don't know why Stephen A. Smith on First Take this morning was shooting them bail, talking about, oh, it was much ado about nothing. No. It was much, because I guarantee, if my New York Knickerbockers had did something similar to what the Dallas Mavericks did this last week, that's all you would hear about was what a fucked up franchise the New York Knicks are. What a effed up owner Jim Dolan is. Oh, that's why the New York Knicks have never accomplished anything. But when it comes to any other franchise and the National Basketball Association, all of a sudden the national media want to cut them fucking slack. What they did was despicable. And let me give it a backstory, because I just went off. And like I said, it's probably not anywhere. This past week, the Dallas Mavericks, they were teetering. Well, matter of fact, they were on the outside looking in of the play-in tournament. They was the 11th seed, right? They were one game behind the Oklahoma City Thunder, who, by all of the pundits this past year, thought that they were going to be in contention for Victor Wembanyama, whatever the hell his name is. Guess what? They're in the play-in tournament. OKC had the tiebreaker over Dallas. So that means Dallas had to beat them outright. As recently as last week, I believe they were either in a tie, but they was in 11th place because of the tiebreaker, or they were at least half a game back. Do you know what the Dallas Mavericks decided to do the last 2 games of the season? Effectively throw in the white towel, raise the right flag. And do you want to know why? They set so many people. They even set Luka Doncic on Slovenian night in Dallas. Luka at first said, look, if I'm healthy, I'm going to play. He conveniently didn't say how long he was planning on playing. So they set him for one. They played him for 1 quarter. Do you know how many people in that stadium, in that arena, came just to see their native son with a possible chance to make the playoffs? They set their entire starting lineup. They benched them for the whole game. That effectively put the stake in their heart. Now I'm going to go off my notes so I don't get too much off the track. The Mavs deliberately tanked to miss the play-in tournament to better their draft positioning. Yeah, that's right. Here's the caveat. Not only were they on the outside looking in of the play-in tournament, you have Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. When they're on, they're not really, they're close to unstoppable offensively. Their problems have been defensively. But who's to say if you get in the play-in tournament, who's to say they can't go off, which got drop 40 each, and the other team have a bad shooting night, and they could advance? But the caveat is, they were currently in position to receive the 10th draft pick in this upcoming NBA draft. The also the other caveat is due to a trade a couple seasons ago where everybody was singing their praises. Oh, they got Kristaps. They got Kristaps Porzingis. Oh, they saved him from New York. They saved him from the dreadful Knicks. He has a new lease on his NBA career. In that trade, they gave up first-round picks. This happened to be one of the years that we were supposed to collect if it was outside the top 10. This was a top 10 first-round pick. Top 10 protected first-round pick. So if the Dallas Mavericks ended up in the top 10, they get to keep their pick this year. If they ended up being number 11, i.e. in the play-in tournament, the pick comes to New York. The pick comes to the Knicks. Now, do you see what the problem is? Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse. But here's some stats. And everybody know I'm a vibe guy. I give a little stat here and there, but I'm a vibe guy. I'm gonna give you some stats. I'm gonna give you some numbers. The Mavs was 6-17. 6-17 since the acquisition of Kyrie, since the teaming of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. They acquired Kyrie Irving via trade on February 6th. But like I said, in the most important game of the season, a game that could have and would have affected their chances of getting into the play-in tournament, the Mavs sat their top 6 players. Maxi Kleber, Tim Hardaway Jr., Christian Wood, Josh Green. Only Luka played. And he played one quarter against the Chicago Bulls, who coincidentally they were tied with for the number 10 pick in this upcoming NBA draft. See how it's all starting to come together? It's all starting to come together. The only thing that was different, because Chicago didn't really play their plays either, but there was one thing different. Chicago already clinched their positioning as the Mojo King is texting on the group chat. That's why you hear the zzz, zzz, zzz. I know. Listen. Chicago already clinched their positioning in the play-in tournament, so they really had nothing to play for. Dallas did. The key point to all this, like I said, is that the draft pick is top 10 protected, and it goes to the Knicks as part of the Porzingis trade from a couple years ago. So, here's one question. Does Mark Cuban care more about the pick than the playoffs? A team, mind you, that made an unexpected run to the Western Conference Finals last season, in which they got eliminated by my Golden State Warriors. But we're not talking about the Warriors right now. We're talking about my Knicks. Yeah, I'm duplicitous. I'm the duplicitous one. Bi-coastal, even though I haven't been on the West Coast in ever. You know what else happened with all this? With all this tanking, with all this giving up, with all this whining? Word came out that Luka had given the Mavs an ultimatum, had given the Mavs a warning that if this next season, but if they don't show market improvement, that he's going to want to be traded in 2024. Now, word came out today that he said, matter of fact, he actually said, look, I never said that. But like I said a couple weeks ago, Luka gets a lot of passes. Luka gets a lot of passes. So, of course, this is another passer. Oh, I didn't say that. Okay, we believe you. Fuck out of here. Does Mark Cuban, does he think this is a good strategy? Kyrie Irving, well, does he think this strategy of retaining a draft pick but foregoing a chance of getting into the postseason will have Kyrie Irving eager to resign this offseason? When your owner gave up during the home stretch? Now, I was watching First Take today, and it's funny how Stephen A., even when he says he doesn't have a bias, even though he did admit that he has a bias against Kyrie Irving. And like I said, I've never been a big Kyrie Irving defender, but fair is fair. I don't understand how the topic went from were the Mavs wrong for tanking, were the Mavs wrong and pretty much giving up their 2 games and foregoing the playoffs, ended up being, oh, Kyrie turned down the exit interview. Kyrie didn't talk to the press the last game. Yeah, Kyrie was wrong for that. How is Kyrie wrong for that? He's a free agent technically now. And by him being a free agent, no matter what Cuban said that he's going to be a priority this offseason, why would Kyrie want to stay in an organization that already showed him that if the choice is saving a couple bucks and getting a draft pick over taking your chances in the postseason and actually believing in the players that you actually have on your team currently, I'm going to pick the draft pick? Why would he want to give them the time of day? Why does he owe them anything? Why? Because they was foolish enough to give up their 2 defensive stalwarts that they had on the entire roster up for him for a 2-month rental? Everybody knows Kyrie trying to go to the Lakers. Kyrie might even take a quote-unquote mid-level exception to go to the Lakers or another team. I'm quite sure, and I believe Kyrie is way more intelligent than people feel or people think, because he does have off-the-wall views. But basketball-wise, you can't tell me he doesn't see the writing on the wall. He doesn't know what would be in his best interest. Just like it was his best interest to go to Brooklyn and convince KD, come to Brooklyn with me. We can rent shit over here. Just like he knew it was in his best interest. Yo, in order for my value not to be lowered even more, I need to get out of Brooklyn, because anything that comes out of Brooklyn concerning me is going to be negative. So it's time for me to get out of here. He knew that. I'm already a bad guy, so what else can harm me if I decide to say, you know what? Time to go. I'm forcing a trade. Get me out of here. Y'all gonna think what y'all want to think anyway. Right? So that's the tanking part. Now here comes the whining part. Prior to them giving up and waving the white flag, and I really think this is more of a vindictive mood on Mark Cuban. Yeah, it has benefits, but I just think he was just being a petulant ass by doing all this. And he better get fined. And tell you the truth, if I was the powers that be in the NBA, I would make it to the point of, no, you do not get to keep your pick. Or you have to give some type of additional compensation for the fact that we know, and it was proven, that you maneuvered your way so you would not have to abide by the terms of the deal that you had with the Knicks a couple years ago. He made comments concerning losing Jalen Brunson in free agency this past week. And he actually blamed it on Jalen Brunson's family, i.e., his father, Rick Brunson, for not being able to sign him. Even though it's been denied in some places, but it's been confirmed in some places that there was a 4-year, $57 million contract extension on the table prior to the trade deadline last season. You mean to tell me you couldn't have upped that offer? That's chump change. That's less than $15 million a year. If you would have had 4 for 75, you might have got the job done beforehand. Now, I'm not sure, and I'll take full blame, credit, whatever you want to say for this. I'm not sure if that's the maximum that they could offer him for the extension, or that's the amount that they chose to offer him. Jalen Brunson ended up getting 4 years, I think almost 120 mil from the Knicks in the offseason. But he's blaming. He said, yeah, we was having a good rapport until his family got involved. So pretty much because his family might have advised him, don't take this slave deal. Think about it. I said it before. What free agents, what big players have the Mavs been able to retain or attract? Before Steve Nash hit it big, he left. Dirk was just a soldier and loyal. Luka's already putting the feelers out of he wants to get the hell up out of here. Kyrie's probably not resigning unless you guarantee him 4 years, 200 mil, and I doubt they're going to do that because they're not. They couldn't even retain Tyson Chandler back in the day for pennies compared to what's going on now. So because you weren't able to sign or retain Jalen Brunson on a slave deal, it's his fault that he took in account whatever his family advised him to do. His family, actually extended family in Leon Rose, the president of the New York Knicks, that's known Jalen Brunson pretty much since he's been a baby. Maybe Jalen Brunson didn't want to stay with the organization because he knew, similarly, like Kyrie knew back in Cleveland, that, all right, I could stay here, but I would never have no say-so in what's going on. Everything would be run through Luka. So me and Luka might be on good terms now. If I run afoul Luka, guess what? I'm stuck. Oh, so I'm just supposed to be the guy that takes over when Luka gets hurt, takes over when Luka runs out of gas inevitably because he's out of shape. But while Luka is up and running, I'm supposed to stand in the corner and wait to shoot the ball with less than 2 seconds remaining. I'm not a 3-and-D guy. And he showed his work. He showed improved this season, averaging 24 a game for the Knicks and leading them to the number 5 seed and actually instilling a culture, and actually making Julius Randle a better player. One thing that hasn't been talked about a lot when it concerned them resigning Jalen Brunson. Didn't the Mavs have his bird rights? That means they could have went above and beyond the tax. Above and beyond the cap to retain him. They could have matched that offer. They could have gave him such an offer that it would be comparable to the offer that he got from the New York Knicks. Only thing that would have cost him was having to go into the tax. Having to go into the luxury tax, and for such a shark that Mark Cuban is, he's the type of dude that got short arms and deep pockets. I.e., don't want to reach for that elusive change that can actually change and maintain your franchise. Darn. Like I said, Jalen Brunson ended up getting 4 years, 100 mil, over 100 mil, 120 mil, 110 mil. There was a layer of race relations to a certain degree. Like, it was bad for a black player who didn't grow up in the slums. His father was an NBA player. His father's still in the NBA league, in the NBA circles, i.e., he works for the Knicks organization. He actually was drafted by the Knicks. So once again, those ties go deep. But what, he's supposed to feel away? He's supposed to feel bad because he had a circle of people. He had his family actually come together and they made the decision as a family, like, look, this is probably a better move for you to go over here than to stay over there. Don't you have family that work with you? Don't you have family that advise you? Oh, but because he's not a billionaire, it's a problem. Maybe thoughts and maybe actions like that and sound bites like that and comments like that are the reason why your franchise will never be anything. Maybe that's the reason why y'all lucked up and got that one chip. And the only reason y'all got that chip is because LeBron choked. Yeah, y'all had a good team, but LeBron choked. If LeBron gives half the effort in that series, y'all don't get no championship. Remember, y'all were laughing stocks when y'all won 67 games and lost to Miami, then came back, won 65 games, and Dirk got bounced out the first round and had to get his MVP trophy while his team wasn't even in the playoffs. And that's no shade to Dirk. That's shade to y'all. Spent way too much time talking about y'all. I'm going to talk about something. I'm going to actually talk about teams that are actually in the playoffs. My New York Knickerbockers next Saturday, this coming Saturday, kick off this series, their first round series against the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's still up in the air whether Julius Randle will be ready after his, severe ankle sprain. But this rest couldn't come at a more perfect time because it's enabling them to lick their chops. It's enabling Jalen Brunson to try to get to optimum health because he had a foot problem. Then he had the hand problem. They've been clinched. I mean, they clinched their 5 seed, last week, early last week. So I don't really agree with Tibbs going so hard with Quickly. Quickly was average. I mean, playing damn near 40 minutes a game. But on the flip side, excuse me. On the flip side, it did allow the bench players that normally would get 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 5 minutes here to get their legs up under them so we can actually depend on that depth and use that depth to our advantage. I'm going to go on record right now. I pick the Knicks to win this series and get out the first round for the first time in 10 years. I picked the Knicks to win this series in 6. There will be no game 7. Even if there is a game 7, I still would pick the Knicks. But there will be no game 7. There will only be game 6. The last time these two teams played, Jalen Brunson dropped 48 points. It's almost like Jalen Brunson. I believe we've won the season series, I think 3 games to 1, perhaps. But it's almost like every time they go against the Cavs, Jalen Brunson, to a certain degree, has a chip on his shoulder. Because one thing that can't be understated, and one thing that needs to be stated, it was never Jalen Brunson or Donovan Mitchell. We already had Jalen Brunson. We were trying to add Donovan Mitchell. But it's almost like Jalen Brunson's like, oh, y'all thought that I needed a sidekick to reach my full potential? That's my bro. Have no problem with him. But I'm here. He's not. Put some respect on my name. Donovan Mitchell has dropped 71 in a game this season. But I will say this, and I am one of those people that believe and still believe that we should have got Donovan Mitchell. Because why not? Donovan Mitchell, except for that bubble series against Denver with him and Jamal Murray, was going back and forth, dropping 50 each. Donovan Mitchell hasn't had great postseason success. I mean, Jalen Brunson bumped the Jazz, who was led by Donovan Mitchell last postseason when Luka was out. Come in. Luka was out. Jalen Brunson led that team to first round victory as my daughter Tamia sneaks in and tries not to make noise.
I don't want to interrupt.
No, you come and say hi. You're in the look. You're in a better position than you were last week, so you should be able to come and say hi. Yeah, this is gonna be an ongoing thing. Hey, see, don't you see my lovely daughter's face? I swear, she's so self-conscious, but I don't care. It's my daughter. My daughter's beautiful. But for all y'all little slime balls out there, don't get it twisted. There will be more than salt. There'll be more than salt thrown if anybody gets disrespectful in the comment section. I will find your IP address and I'll handle my business. Straight up. Yeah. Let me stop. All right. Wow. Oh, that was quick.
Yeah. I'll see them again tomorrow.
Okay.
His grandmother gave me a ham.
A ham?
A ham.
We don't eat no swine. Well, I don't eat no swine.
Well, yeah. But they wanted to get rid of it.
They wanted to get rid of the swine, so give it to my daughter, right?
It's not that. His grandfather still eats
swine.
So he was wondering if I could cook it. He fell down the stairs and
okay.
So I was like, yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
So I'm gonna attempt to make a ham. Wish me luck.
Wait, you gonna make a ham here? Ain't no swine being cooked in this house. You better talk to your mama.
Talk to mommy.
Yeah, you better talk to your mother. Shoot, I'm sorry. Look, I used to love me some swine. I ain't gonna lie, but I think it's been 5 years? I think it's been about 5 years since I had some swine. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I've had a pork bun, and then served me right. I had a pork bun, and like the second one I had, I looked. I was like, "What's this stringy thing?" Oh, it's a hair. No swine for me. That's what I get. But yeah, like what happened? No, I'm asking. No, I am recording though.
No, I know. I
No,
was
go ahead.
wondering what you were. I wasn't like stay in the background and listen to what you were talking about.
Mhm.
What were you talking about?
Oh, I'm talking about basketball.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Knicks, the
Mm-hmm.
New York Knicks, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The New York Knicks actually made the playoffs this year,
Mm-hmm.
and they got their first game or their first round matchup this coming Saturday. So I was talking about Jalen Brunson, who is which was in his first year, he's the point guard of the New York Knicks,
Okay.
going against the star of the Cleveland Cavaliers, which would be Donovan Mitchell, who should have been a Knick, but we couldn't get the trade done, so he ended up getting traded to Cleveland because he came up with Utah. He was with the Utah Jazz.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Like you know about basketball,
I don't, but you seem so invested. I just like watching people get passionate about the things they do.
oh yeah. Well, shoot, you should have been here for the first 20 minutes because I was pissed. Yeah. Well. Even though I told y'all that my family doesn't really listen to my archives or anything, they're my biggest supporters, but they just don't really, they press the like button. You can listen to the first 20 minutes to see exactly how pissed off I really was.
I'll do that. I'll start listening.
Yeah, give me some views. Shoot, I need to expand this. Shoot, I don't do this for my health. I actually made 54 cents the other day. 54 cents.
Okay.
But not for here though. I made it for for the football one. 54 cents.
That's progress. You know what? I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I can actually say I'm a professional now because I made 54 cents. Go me, go me, go me, go me. I know I'm just talking way too much. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so Cleveland Cavs and the New York Knicks this coming Saturday. I done lost track of everything I was saying. So, but pretty much throughout this playoff season, this off season, I am going to be having weekly updates on at least my two teams and the ongoings of the playoffs because these playoffs, especially in the Western Conference, are so wide open that you have no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea who's in advance. You have no idea what exactly is going to be um, the outcome. There's no front runners, especially in the West. But yeah, Knicks in 6. Like I said, I lost track, so I apologize. But there will be more New York Knicks talk next week because we'll actually have one game under the belt. But since I was talking about the Western Conference, let's talk about them now. The Western Conference is indeed up for grabs. You have the play-in tournament starts tomorrow. The Lakers, led by Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Yeah, you heard what I said, right? Anthony Davis led into the playoffs by Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Go against one of the most idiotic, asinine teams that made it. I swear they should be stripped of their number 8 seed and given to a more deserving team. And the Lakers are going to go against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And you want to know why I call them stupid? You want to know why I call them undeserving? Because 2 incidents happened on the last game of the season in which they actually won to better their standing in the playoffs. Rudy Gobert, the tall Frenchie, the tall Frenchman, the man that caused the NBA to actually get shut down at the very beginning of the pandemic because he thought the Rona was a joke. And that's why Donovan Mitchell had to hem him up in the locker room because this mother effer was coughing over everything and then went to rub his hand on everything. And next thing you know, guess who caught COVID? Yeah, that's 3 years ago. But the fact still remains, he's a freaking idiot. He punched his teammate during. Yeah, this is Grand Central Station out this mother effer. Hey, how y'all doing? Oh, I'm sorry, babe. You want to say hi? Come and say hi. This is my other lovely daughter, Main Event K. Oh, yeah.
What podcast is that? Let's see.
No, this is mine.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Now, you don't see? Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph? Mine.
Oh, it says it right there.
Yeah. Yeah, mine.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you. Like I said, the respect I get, the respect my platform gets, ain't that something? But yeah, Rudy Gobert punched his teammate in a huddle, Kyle Anderson, aka Slow Mo, for being called a bitch. Yeah. Kyle Anderson, I don't know exactly for what, but Kyle Anderson called Rudy Gobert the B word, a biatch, and Rudy Gobert said, and Kyle Anderson walked, and then he was like, you know what? I got you. I got you. So word came out that Rudy Gobert is suspended for their upcoming play-in game against the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah. Way to use your head. Way to use your noggin. Not only that, during the same game, Jaden McDaniels, I don't know what he was upset about, but on his way to the locker room, he punched the wall with his shooting hand, and his hand is fractured, and he is out for the playoffs for however long Minnesota lasts, which evidently probably will not be that long. So any hope? Matter of fact, this is the time. The pressure's on the Lakers. You want to know why? Because the Lakers are playing a short-handed team at home that evidently their head is not in the game. Can the Lakers avoid a letdown against an inferior and immature team? Or will Ant-Man and Mike Conley have the freedom to roam? Because quiet as kept, they're a better team when Rudy Gobert is not in the game, is not clogging up the lane, is not being called a bitch. So I feel like the Lakers have all the pressure on them. And didn't I say, here's another stat. The Lakers, since the trading deadline, it's 18-9. The Lakers, I've said before, they were going to, matter of fact, the media were going to give all the kudos to LeBron James for coming back and saving the day because Anthony Davis is not to be depended on. Didn't I say that? I called it. I called it. Team clutch. And now on First Take, people were saying that the Lakers might just might get into. I mean, just might come out of the West. The mail? Yeah, it was in the bedroom. No, no problem. Um, yeah, that the Lakers were going to beat the Memphis Grizzlies. Just because the Memphis Grizzlies don't have, or they're going to be without the services of Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, and they're not going to have any low post protection. They're not going to have any low post no low post presence. Say that 3 times, like I attempted to do. See how the spin goes. So not only the Lakers were the hottest team in the league, i.e., forgetting that they had the easiest schedule in the league. Not just forgetting that Memphis had kind of righted the ship after all the hubbub that happened with Ja Morant. Just conveniently forgetting that LeBron James, just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Like my Golden State Warriors are not whole. We got two-way wigs back. Gary Payton is slowly coming into form. Kuminga getting more and more confident in his role. Dante DiVincenzo stroking from 3. Jordan Poole being a little bit more consistent. We do have a tough matchup, and that against the Sacramento Kings. Sacramento Kings are a very formidable bunch, but they do not have the prerequisite playoff experience on their roster, and I really believe that will be that would be the ultimate check in the Warriors column concerning that series. That series probably goes to 6 games. It's not going to 7. All we need to do is win, still one. All we need to do is split the first 2 games, and the series is ours. It's going to be hard to get all 3 games at home. I do admit that. But right now, it'll probably be harder for us to get 2 games on the road than all 3 games at home. Mike Brown will be a deciding factor for good and for bad. And yeah, I think the Warriors are going to win in 6 games. When in doubt, Warriors in 6. Now, the last series that I'm going to talk about when it comes to the Western Conference, and right now for the NBA, because it's not really an NBA playoff preview. It's not even a half-ass preview. It's just me sprinkling some salt. Salt Bay, or Salt Mike, Salt Mine, whatever. And that is the series between the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Clippers. Coincidentally, you know what was one of the season finale games yesterday on Easter? It was the Phoenix Suns, who already locked up the 4 seed against the Los Angeles Clippers, who needed the win to stay number 5. If they would have lost, they would have slipped to 6, and the Warriors went to 5. Now, there's 2 ways you could think about it. The first one would be, did Phoenix intentionally lose that game because they wanted to avoid the Warriors in the first round? Do you know how much scrutiny Kevin Durant would be under if he had to face his former team in the first round, if he had to go to Chase Center, if he had to go to the Bay in the first round for the first time since he left, he has not played a game against the Warriors in the Bay since he left. Do you really think that the Warriors are scared of Devin Booker? Devin Booker brings out the best in Klay Thompson because Klay Thompson can't stand that cocksucker. Ha! First time I christened thee. First time I used the CS word on the new and improved Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. Do you believe that Steph Curry is concerned with the point guard? Yeah, right. CP Tree, CP Dirty. Do you really think that the Warriors are scared? Or is it the other way around? I personally believe it was the other way around. And it also conveniently takes the Suns out of the same bracket as the Warriors. The only way they would face each other would be in the Western Conference Finals. And everybody knows that the Suns are not making it to the Western Conference Finals. We knew that. Because think of it like this. If the Suns win the 4th seed and Denver wins, so it's a 1-4 matchup. I really think it's going to be a 2-6 matchup with the Grizzlies and the Warriors. But everybody knows. So, matter of fact, the Suns can beat Denver. So, but will they? We thought we were gonna match up in the Western Conference Finals last year. Guess who took care of their situation, took care of their business, and guess who failed to live up to their end of the bargain? Got 4 rings, even though I only got 1 on. Got 4 rings on one side. We got 0 on the other. And you just made it to the finals once before. But I will save my Phoenix Sun slander for when they first tip off in the off season, so I can see exactly what kind of bullshit that they're going to do. Also, the other part, before I forget about it, the other interesting part is a lot of people were saying that the Clippers were angling to get the number 6 seed because they wanted to avoid the Suns. Ty Lue is one of the most intelligent, if not the best, coach in the league. For him to play his players the amount of minutes they played against a opponent that if he had any type of apprehension over, he would have had the chance to avoid and just rest his players. He said no. Kawhi almost played 40 minutes. Westbrook played 30 some odd minutes. Maybe they get Paul George back. Maybe they don't. But I do truly believe that Ty Lue saw something. Ty Lue was like, okay, I see how they're going to play how they're going to deal with different situations. And I think I have a counter for all these situations. That series is probably going to go 7 games. Who's going to win? I really don't know. It all depends on, will CP3 end up coming up lame, pull a hamstring, pull a groin, stub his toe, stub his hand, twist his ankle, jam his finger. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. How many years has something always happened when it comes to CP3 in the playoffs? Always and forever. CP3 will be hurt. The Suns will be eliminated. And always it'll hurt. Every year, the Suns will always be so near, but they will never close the deal. No way, no how. Yeah. And there's a certain person that knows exactly who that's directed to. But it's too early in the postseason. The postseason hasn't started yet for me to go full throttle. I'll just leave it at that. Now, last but not least, are my Amazins in trouble? And when I say the Amazins, I'm talking about the Amazin Mets, the Amazin Metropolitans. Are my Amazins in trouble? I don't know. Are they? The Mets coming into tonight's game against the San Diego Padres at home are 5-5 in their first 10 games. But they're 5-2 against the Miami Marlins. Should we be worried? Should we be worried? Will things self-correct? Will all these injuries take a toll? Or will this year's iteration of the New York Metropolitans be indeed the worst team money can buy? I have no answers for none of those questions. But I will say, and I will echo what I heard Don LaGreca say this afternoon on the Michael K show, that it's a damn shame 11 games into the season, and dare I say tonight's game against the San Diego Padres is a must win. Carrasco has been horrible. I think he has an ERA over 12. Scherzer has been shaky. Verlander is on the IR, whatever they call it now. You know, our most dependable pitcher so far this season has been Taylor Miguel. Do you know that Pete Alonso already has 5 home runs? Lindor has been doing his thing, and the rest of the lineup has been silent as a mouse. It's a lot. It's a lot of things going on. I don't know what's going to happen. Like I've told plenty of people, and I'll give a shout out to Al, who's a pessimist at heart when it comes to the Amazins, but I understand. This man is such a pessimist that, do you know that he refuses to get any type of Met paraphernalia with the player on the back? He'll get a number, i.e. legendary Keith Hernandez, but he would not get nobody's name on the back of his jersey because he knows either they're not here for the long haul or they end up disappointing. And he's already on the bandwagon of, yeah, I'm kind of told him, like, yo, I'm getting those vibes. I'm sorry, I'm getting those vibes that this team is just not going to be what they're all cracked up to be. It's going to be a disappointing year. And he's like, yeah, I see it already. And I'm like, damn, he's more pessimistic than I am. I'm not going to lie, up until recently, I've been a glass half empty guy. Now I look at this as a glass half full. Where y'all going? Oh, sisterly bonding. No, this is iced coffee with oat milk. Yeah, taste it. Even though you came back with this. Tastes good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not rude. Your pops can never be rude.
See, I at least had enough decency to not use a straw.
Oh yeah, that is great. That is great.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Oh yeah, thank you. It is what it is. But yeah, so like I said, I'm not having buyer's remorse, but it is early in the season. And if I haven't told y'all before, or should I say for my new listeners, I'm going to let y'all know how I break down my sports seasons. All right, let's say start with football. Football, I'm pretty much full ball. September to the end of the season, September to the Super Bowl, I'm full football. From football, I transition into the NBA. I don't really get really down in the nitty gritty with the NBA until right around the All-Star break. Matter of fact, beginning of the year, around NFL playoff time, I start paying attention more to the NBA. So by the time the Super Bowl ends, I'm full ball into the NBA, and that ends up being around the All-Star break. And I ride the NBA out until their finals, whether one of my teams are involved or not. Even though that one year I was just so tired of damn basketball because they had truncated everything and just made everything just run one season run into it. When the Bucks and the Suns was in the finals, I was like, I'm so tired of NBA. I don't care nothing about this basketball. Can the season be over with? And then once the NBA finals is over, there's nothing really to watch but baseball. And usually the NBA finals is over middle of June. So that's leading up to the All-Star break of Major League Baseball. And by that time, I'll know whether or not I could be truly invested or not, but I'm always invested in my Mets. That's the one team, matter of fact, that's the one team through hook or crook, I will ride all the way through. I mean, I ride all my teams, but even when they stink, I gotta just kind of figure out like, all right, well, there's a positive when they stink because in September, do you know the premium seats in Citi Field used to be? I remember I got like the third row in September one of the years that the Mets stunk. Got it for $20. I got into the area where they actually do they actually come and take your order for food. But I didn't know that. So I already had my 2 hot dogs and my beer. And they was like, excuse me, sir, can we take your order? You want anything to drink? Want anything to eat? I'm like, nah, I'm good. And they're looking at me like, oh, this lower class citizen's never been down here before. You're damn right. I got these for $20. Not spending this extra money on your gourmet meals when I got my 2 premium hot dogs. I'm not using the G word. They're hot dogs. And my beer, even though I don't drink no more. Loved it. But yeah, it's too early. I'm just getting these vibes, and I'm going to keep a good eye on them. And, I'm going to throw this out there, even though I know it will not be accepted. Smitty from the group home in Bergen Beach. One of these years, matter of fact, one of these weeks, when you're not on the choo-choo train for Operation Vegas, one of these weeks, I'm going to want, maybe not your face, because look, to each his own. Some people don't want to be visualized. But maybe I could just at least get you a call in and we could talk and discuss our views on our Amazins. I think that's a fair ask. Because Smitty from the group home in Bergen Beach is one of my close friends, consider him a brother, and he's one of my day one listeners for the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. Matter of fact, just Salty Thoughts pod in general. So I would love to have him on so we could have like a little 10-minute conversation on all things Mets. And that offer is also out for my boy, Zao. You want to come chop it up with good old Mike? offers always open. So yeah, I think this was pretty good. This is pretty good. If I do say so myself, I try to do the best that I can. You see, I've gradually gotten into a better mood. I didn't know how this was going to come out because, like I said, I was about to make this a half-hour conversation. And tell you the truth, after I did that intro, I'm about to like, you know what? See y'all next week. Bye. But what's going to put me in a better mood?
I am the Mojo King, and I am here to support my brother's podcast and all of his salty thoughts. All right, let's not say all of his salty thoughts, maybe 90%. He's a bit of a wild man. I am also here to plug my 3 podcasts. Yes, 3 of them. Hidden Gems Golf is a quick 10 to 12 minute pod where I talk long shots on the PGA Tour. Long shots mean big money when they pay off. There is also Hip Hop Hidden Gems, where historian William Freeman and I discuss songs and or artists who deserve more shine. We talked about Big Daddy Kane, Gangstar, Chino XL. We have a West Coast legend coming up. We even featured a little R&B and soul for Valentine's Day. It's a little bit nostalgia and a whole lot of fun. That's Hip Hop Hidden Gems. Lastly, but not leastly, is Hidden Gems Football. That is where me and the great Donnie Yu discuss upcoming NFL action. You already know how Donnie gets down with his spicy takes.
What are you doing? There's no more Donnie Yu.
I'm doing an ad for the salty thoughts of Donnie Yu.
No, not Donnie Yu. The salty thoughts of Mike Steph.
What are you talking about? Who the is Mike Steph? And by the way, Hidden Gems Football is the Mojo King and
Mike Steph.
What? What are you? Nah, I'm out. Screw this.
Hello? And back to you, Mike Steph.
This is bullshit.
Thank you once again to my brother, the Mojo King, and the Mojo Queen, for giving me such a rousing, such a beautiful commercial that I can add to my ever-growing platform. I love the comedy. I love the insight. I love the information. I love the fact that by him plugging his 3 entities, I no longer have to do it. And it was never a burden because I love to do it. But it actually kind of streamlines the show and gives my episodes a little bit more class, a little bit more professional, a little bit more panache. But like, yeah, I like to thank the Mojo King and the Mojo Queen for always being there, always supporting your brother, and everything is much needed. I mean, much appreciated. Next week on the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, I'll be talking about the first games in the first round matchups of the actual NBA playoffs. Yeah, this will be a primarily an NBA playoff vehicle for the next 2 months. I'll talk about some whatever happenings if the Jets actually ever commence the trade with Aaron Rodgers. I did mean to talk about that turncoat, that traitor, OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. But if I really wanted to say what I wanted, matter of fact, if I really cared on whether or not he signed with us or he eventually signed with the Baltimore Ravens, which he did late last night, then I would consider myself to be a hypocrite because everybody knows I don't give a F about OBJ. So happy for you. You got your 15 mil. Go be stuck in Baltimore with no quarterback. But yeah, that will be on deck next week. And hopefully the Mets will actually have something good for Mike Steph to actually crow about. Knowing how they've been doing lately, probably won't happen. So yeah, that's on deck next week. Hopefully, same Mike Steph time and same Mike Steph channel. Now, to my shout outs, aka plugs. Check out my brothers at the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. Winchester and McDowell, or Winchester each week, where the two recap the latest happenings in the world of professional wrestling. Not only do they recap the happenings in the world of professional wrestling, no. They will give you GI at the movies. And this past week, Tyler went to see John Wick Chapter 4. Tune in to get his review. We will have an epic promo by Mr. Winchester over social media / job etiquette. And I swear I wish the beeps weren't in there because I really wanted to know what expletives he really said. And everything else that happened this past week in the world of professional wrestling. Check out my bros Winchester and McDowell Gimmick Infringement on the 19 Media Group YouTube page. Check them out on all streaming platforms wherever podcasts available. And last but not least, check them out. Check out their website, gimmickinfringement.com, for articles of all topics. These two are exquisite writers, and I love to read to see them get their shit off. So check out my bros. You'll be glad you did. Check out my bros from the Black Wrestling Podcast each and every week, 8:35 BRP Live every Thursday. Check out Fam, Drip, the homie Cal, the homie Math, and the Queen Mimi. Check them out each and every Thursday, 8:35 BRP Live on the YouTube page of the Black Wrestling. Check them out on the YouTube. Matter of fact, check them out on the Patreon. Patreon like Black Wrestling. Pay the 1, pay the 10 for additional content, and content that you would be glad and happy to see and read and hear, and shit that they can't get away with on the regular YouTube streets, because guess what? Just check out, pay the 10, pay the 1. Check out the Black Wrestling Podcast. You'll be glad you did. And last but not least, check out my bro, whose glass you see each and every time I take a swig on the YouTube streets. Body More Bottles on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Check out B More's #1 alcohol reviewer. No, F that. Check out the #1 alcohol reviewer in all of YouTube. Check them out if you want to be in the know for the latest spirits, the latest concoctions, the latest cocktails, the latest liquors, the latest beers, the latest everything concerning the culture. Check out my bro, Body More Bottles on YouTube. Like and subscribe. What the fuck? You heard me? Hope you did. Yeah, I'm so classy. I drink my iced coffee out of a rocks glass with a straw. You want to know why? Because I can. And last but not least, check out me. If you're already watching the YouTube, you know where to check me out at. But I'll give you the audio version. Check out the mothership, the flagship, if you will, on all streaming platforms wherever podcasts are available. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the formerly named Anchor.fm, amongst others. New episodes drop each and every Monday. Check me out on the socials at Mike Steffens, at Mike Steffens on Twitter, at Mike Steph, or at Mike_Steph on Instagram, and at Mike Steph_ on TikTok. And that brings us to the end of an interesting edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. I have to ask this one thing before I actually get out of here, and that is this. On the YouTube, please like, subscribe, post a comment. Most importantly, post a comment. Like I said, I don't care if it's a comment on saying how well I'm doing, if it's a question, Or it's a comment that said, Mike Steph, you suck. Post whatever. You could post an emoji. I really don't care. But I would appreciate if you do. And please, share. Sharing is caring. And it's very important for moi if you share the salty thoughts of Mike Steph. You see this little ditty down here? I know a lot of people are like, hold on, you give your little things and you never really mention at Mike Steph Pod on Twitter. And there's really no reason why I don't. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't use that page. That used to be another page of another name, which I will not be mentioning right now. But I just said, you know what? Let me change that into the Mike Steph Pod page, handle, what have you, on Twitter. Don't get me wrong. I still get my notifications. So if you want to hit me up on there, you can. But if you really want to get some type of engagement from me, check me out on Twitter at Mike Steph, no, at Mike Steffens _ Yeah. So I think that's about it. Once again, check me out next week. Same Mike Steph channel. Hopefully, same Mike Steph day and same Mike Steph time. I appreciate y'all dearly. And until next week, goodbye. I swear, y'all think this is like an ongoing joke or I'm doing this shit on purpose. I don't. I keep on forgetting that I got to press record in recording twice because no, you can't just press in recording and just stops recording. No, you got to press in recording and then a little box comes up in recording. Do you really want to end recording? Not yet or yes. So, fucking stream, y'all. Check y'all later.